Part 62. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 611. Even the personal brain was forcibly teleported. The whole blue star is boiling. In my lifetime, in my lifetime. Ha ha ha. The star beast is finally going to hum off. Kill. Go out and kill these beasts. Rush. Blue star belongs to us humans. Countless people were excited. In each base city, the branches of the Warriors Association, which had been notified early, directly led the warriors to rush out. This time is definitely the best opportunity for mankind. No matter how many warriors have to be sacrificed, no matter how many people have to die. As long as all the star beasts are killed, even if the star beasts will appear again, it will be proved. Star beasts are not really invincible. In an instant, the entire blue star, hundreds of base cities, and tens of millions of warriors all launched a counterattack. Even though the number of star beasts is extremely large, after losing the organization of the Beast King, they are just stragglers. Even the star beasts above Tianyuan with royal bloodline were panicking at this moment. All the kings died in battle. The human race is really going to launch a full-scale counterattack. Under this situation, Lu Yu and a group of Blue Star executives naturally joined the hunting team. Of course, they all dispersed in a targeted manner. As long as I receive a message from a certain base city that there is a star beast above Tianyuan that cannot be dealt with, I will go directly to kill it. Brother, don't worry, I'll be fine. Lu Ling also rushed into the battlefield, and when he took action, all the star beasts in the moving mountain realm were unmatched. Despite this, Lu Yu still asks Xiao 11 to protect her. Lu Yu himself was supporting various base cities. He can run around the entire blue star in less than a minute. It is a true global reinforcement. Often a base city has just been killed by a high-level star beast and suffered heavy casualties, so a signal for support is sent out. The next moment, Lu Yu shot the star beast into dust from half a planet away. These have made countless warriors excited. With such support, what are you afraid of? If you can't beat the Shaker, it's over. This is the situation. As time goes by, the number of star beasts has dropped sharply like never before. On the satellite map, the number of star beasts is decreasing crazily. The bloody spirit that the Blue Star warriors have honed over the long years is also clearly displayed at this moment. Even if you encounter a star beast that cannot be beaten, you will drag it to death. Time flies by, the sun rises and sets. 5 days later, when the sun set again, most of the blue star was covered with a layer of sunset's afterglow. The last star beast was also killed by Lu Yu at this moment. There are no traces of the star beast on the satellite images. In addition to human beings, no other large vital signs can be found on the global life detection device. The star beast really disappeared. At this moment, countless people cried with joy. No one knows whether this is a dream or reality. The star beast that has troubled the blue star human race for an unknown number of years has finally disappeared. These are simply like a dream. No one has ever imagined that it can really come true. And today, it really came true. Blue star belongs to humans. Almost the whole world's eyes were turned to Lu Yu. Everyone knows that without Lu Yu, destroying the star beast would probably be just a dream. Knowing that he was being watched by Quanlangxing, Lu Yu just wanted to make a speech. The next moment, a door of light suddenly appeared in front of Lu Yu. Chapter 0463 Can't get in, Lord Yan is just an embroidery needle. In front of Lu Yu, there was an additional door of light. The light door appeared suddenly without any warning. The moment Lu Yu saw Guangmin, he stood still. Looking at the light door, his eyes were alert. Don't tell me, this is where the star beast comes from. With the red electric gun in his hand appearing, Lu Yu stood in front of the light door, waiting for the star beast to appear. Just a few minutes later, there was no response in the light door. There is only a circle of white light flowing, as if it attracts all eyes. Yanzu and others also rushed over quickly, looking at the light door with confused eyes. Lu Yu, what is this? Not sure. Lu Yu shook his head. I looked here for a long time and didn't see anything. Yanzu also looked at this light door. This should be the light gate that refreshes the star beast, right? Some senior officials spoke out. No one responded. No one knows whether this is true or not. Zouqi jumped out. Let me tell you, can't we find out if we go in and take a look? Are you going in? Yanzu looked at Zouqi. Zouqi? Ahem, I'm quite old now, and there are seniors above me and young ones below, so it's not appropriate. Everyone. Maybe we can put a robot in there and try it? Someone suggested. The decision was quickly passed and a flying robot was put inside. However, after the robot entered the light gate, the communication signal was instantly interrupted. Disappear directly. Looking at the dark screen, everyone looked at each other, not knowing what to do. Flame Lord's expression was thoughtful. The back here must be no longer on the blue star, or even within the entire Milky Way, otherwise the signal would not be interrupted. As soon as these words came out, everyone looked at each other in shock. Lu Yu looked at the light door and said suddenly. Let me go in and take a look. No. The Flame Lord immediately spoke out. No one knows what's going on inside. What if something happens to you? Don't worry about that, Lord Yan. I'm still a little confident, Lu Yu replied. I've been to places like the Great Wall. Is there any place more dangerous than that? What's more, I have the old man's token to protect me. Lord Yan shook his head when he heard this. I can promise you other things, but not this one. We will never allow you to have any problems under our noses. Let's go back and discuss it. Okay. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 612. Lu Yu could only nod. Wait until Lord Yan and the others discuss it. The most important thing is that no one knows how long this light gate can exist. If you go in and disappear, it will be a problem. After ordering people to seal off the place, Lu Yu followed Yan Lord and the others back to the Star Palace. This matter was deliberately blocked, so other people did not know about it at all. But now on the way back, the entire Blue Star was cheering and celebrating wherever there were people. This is definitely the most celebrated day for Blue Star. The Star Beast has disappeared, and humans can finally no longer have to worry about it day and night and die in the mouth of the Star Beast. Lord Yan looked at all this and was very pleased. Lu Yu, it's all thanks to you. Fine. Lu Yu waved his hand. Looking down at the imperial capital setting off supernatural powers like fireworks, I was also very happy. All the way back to the Star Palace, everyone held a meeting on this matter. Lu Yu sat next to him for more than an hour, but he didn't understand anything. The whole meeting was about two things. Determine if the Star Beast will appear again. Determine if the light door is safe. It's over. Lu Yu, you can go back first. We still have many details to implement. Oh, okay. Lu Yu took a look at the sky outside and quickly walked out. Zouqi followed him out at some point. How about it, Mr. Lu, have some drinks. Zouqi threw a bottle of wine to Lu Yu. Lu Yu took the wine and climbed to the highest point of the Star Palace with Zouqi. Looking at the brightly lit imperial capital below, Lu Yu took a sip of his wine. It's good. The Star Beast turmoil has finally disappeared. Ha ha ha, that's true. Now our blue star population is going to explode. What do you think? Are you interested in making a contribution to the human race? Zouqi winked at Lu Yu. Lu Yu? How did you come up with such an idea? Ahem, the main thing is that if you have that idea, I will arrange a marriage proposal for you right away. If nothing else, you can choose all the beauties in Blue Star at your will. Do it with the one you like, no, marry the one you like. Xochi's face turned red as he drank, and he danced excitedly. You're so awesome. Now not only women like you, but men also like you. You're so awesome. Lu Yu. Looking at Xochi, who was extremely excited, Lu Yu wanted to remind him. You forgot to zip your zipper. But after considering that Mr. Zhou also wanted to save face, Lu Yu quietly shut up. Master Zhou, I'm not interested in these. What? You're not interested in women? Sure enough, you like men. Xochi seemed to have discovered some big secret and looked at Lu Yu with a shocked look. Lu Yu. After he drank the wine in the bottle, he looked at Xochi. It seems I forgot something. What's up? WC. Good boy. If you didn't tell me, I almost forgot. Let's go, BB. Xochi smelled of alcohol and excitedly pulled Lu Yu to look for a WC nearby. 3 minutes later. Xochi walked out with a dazed look. Looking at Lu Yu wearing a belt, Xochi's eyes almost popped out of his head. My darling, no wonder you don't look for me. What girl can stand this big? Compared with you, Master Yan is like an embroidery needle. What are you two doing here? Yanzu appeared at some point and looked at Lu Yu and Xochi with a puzzled look on his face. Xochi hurriedly yelled, and just as he was about to defend himself, Lu Yu immediately spoke up. Master Yan, Mr. Zhou said you are an embroidery needle. Flame Lord? No, I mean, Lu Yu is big. Xochi immediately defended himself. This made Lord Yan frown. What's the comparison? No, his is really big. How big is it? Flame Lord couldn't help but be curious. Xochi thought for a while and made a gesture with his hand. In an instant, Lord Yan's eyes widened. Is it really that big? Real? Instantly, Flame Lord's eyes became horrified. At this time, other senior executives also came over with doubts. After Xochi's explanation, the way they looked at Lu Yu changed immediately. True and false. Damn it, Xochi, who are you lying to? How is it possible? I don't believe it. A group of senior executives immediately expressed disbelief. Lu Yu watched for a long time. Seeing this, he turned around and walked into WC without saying anything. Yanzu took the lead, and all other high-level officials also entered. 10 minutes later, including Yanzu, all the senior officials walked to the rooftop with their eyes blank. Chapter 0464 Brother, you are the best, Lu Ling's Mongolian and Chinese medicine. In a happy mood, Lu Yu returned to the small villa. Along the way, countless citizens of the imperial capital cheered for Lu Yu. The media reporters following the photo did not stop until they reached the gate of the first martial arts school. These are the auras that blessed Lu Yu. It can be said that at this moment, Lu Yu has almost become a spiritual totem-like existence. It is destined to be recorded in the annals of history and leave a mark of great significance. It will not fade for thousands of years to come. With peace of mind, Lu Yu entered the first martial arts school. The atmosphere in the first martial arts school was boiling almost instantly. Lu Yu's arrival made countless people go crazy. The girls immediately surrounded Lu Yu in 3 layers. Feeling the softness around him and the beautiful faces he saw, Lu Yu was very moved. As expected, the campus was still the most innocent and beautiful. There were not so many right and wrong, but only warm embraces. Many male compatriots watched from afar, with mixed feelings in their hearts. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yun Zhonmu Shui. Chapter 613. Among these girls, some are their girlfriends, some are their goddesses. There are also female teachers. But now, without exception, all of them are licking Lu Yu like crazy. This feeling is really uncomfortable. I'm really sad. In the past, when I went out and said that I was from the first martial arts school, others would say, "Wow, you are from the first martial arts school." Now when I go out and say that I am from the first martial arts school, the first reaction of others is, "Wow, do you know Lu Shen?" I feel the same way. Because of him, my girlfriend wants to break up with me every other day. Last time, I threatened her with suicide, choosing between me and Lu Yu, and she said I'd rather die. I was so angry. Brother, find another one. Find another one? Brother, have you ever seen a woman who doesn't like Lu Yu? Countless male compatriots were melancholy in their hearts. And surrounded by countless girls, Lu Yu finally arrived at the door of the small villa. Lu Ling pulled Xiao 11 and looked at him with a sullen face. Lu Yu, can't always refuse others, it's not good, Lu Yu explained. Lu Ling snorted. You are obviously trying to take advantage of me on purpose. People want to take advantage of me, what can I do? Make an appointment tonight. Lu Yu casually looked at a girl next to him. The girl was so excited that her face turned red on the spot. Really, Lu Shen. Fake. As he said, Lu Yu closed the door of the villa. Outside, the girls saw this and had no intention of leaving. They were all waiting outside. Seeing this, Lu Yu lay on the sofa and sighed. Sure enough, sometimes too much personal charm is not a good thing. Lu Ling. Staring at Lu Yu seriously, Lu Ling asked. Brother, have you found a girlfriend? Not yet, Lu Yu thought about it. Lan is his maid, not his girlfriend. Seeing this, Lu Ling felt relieved. So that's the case, brother, you are the best. Lu Ling rushed over and rubbed against Lu Yu. Lu Yu. After patting Lu Ling on the butt, Lu Yu stood up and said. Okay, your brother, I'm going to sleep. With that, Lu Yu went upstairs. Time flies, and soon it's the next day. Lu Yu opened his eyes and yawned. I did have a good sleep last night, and now I feel energetic. But Lu Yu just stretched out his hand to get up, and found that something seemed wrong next to him. What the hell? Lu Yu lifted the quilt and saw Lu Ling and Xiao 11 lying on his left and right. Lu Yu. Brother, why are you awake? Lu Ling put his hand over, and Lu Yu jumped up directly. What the hell did you do last night? I slept with you, what's wrong? Lu Ling sat up with messy hair. Hearing this, Lu Yu hurriedly checked his clothes. It's okay, it's okay. Slowly relieved, Lu Yu stared at Xiao 11. Xiao 11, why did you become bad too? I. Xiao 11 was so weak that she couldn't speak. Seeing this, Lu Yu sighed. Yao Ling, the evil heart is still there. Sighing, Lu Yu picked up the cup and drank a sip of water. Just one sip, and immediately found out. This taste, why is it a little sweet? What the hell? Lu Yu's eyes couldn't help but catch some powder on the rim of the cup. This. Turning his head, Lu Yu saw Lu Ling's expectant face. Brother, are you dizzy now? Come and catch up on your sleep. Looking at Lu Ling's hands behind her back, he walked over and lifted Lu Ling up directly. Soon, more than a dozen packaging bags fell. Mongol Han medicine, 250 years of professional Mongolian medicine, a must-have for Mongolians and Han people, customized for Lu Shen. Want to drug Lu Shen and have a passionate night, just buy it. Looking at the photo of himself wearing underwear that was photoshopped, Lu Yu fell into deep thought. This thing, who on earth made it and sold it? The most important thing is that it says that one pack is enough. Xiao Ling, actually put in 12 packs. Are you trying to poison me? I'm afraid that you won't pass out, brother. Are you dizzy now? Lu Ling had an expectant expression on his face. Lu Yu. Tearing open a pack casually, Lu Yu poured the powder directly into his mouth. Sweet, sugar, understand. Impossible, I've tried it on Xiao 11 before. Lu Ling half believed and half doubtedly reached out her hand and dipped a little in her mouth. The next moment, her eyes were blurred. Brother. Before she finished speaking, Lu Ling lay directly on the bed. Seeing this, Lu Yu snorted. You want to knock out your brother with just this little dose? It's so funny. As he said, Lu Yu looked at Xiao 11. Xiao 11, you have become bad. I didn't mean it. Xiao 11 didn't even dare to look at Lu Yu. In response, Lu Yu shook his head. Take good care of Lu Ling today. As he said, Lu Yu walked out. After leaving the villa, Lu Yu went out and saw En Tian. Lu Shen, have you had breakfast? En Tian was holding a lunch box in her hand. Seeing this, Lu Yu took the lunch box, sat on the bench, and ate breakfast while chatting with En Tian. Next to him, countless people were envious. Isn't En Tian too lucky? How many girls are envious? The male compatriots are gritting their teeth. Damn, En Tian, the school beauty, has completely become this guy's liquor. Why, to us, she is so cold and aloof, not saying a word. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yun Zhonmu Shui. Chapter 614. Why? As the focus of the audience, Lu Yu certainly knew that he was currently drawing quite a lot of hatred. However, Lu Yu was quite indifferent to this. After eating breakfast, he touched En Tian's face and went to the federal headquarters. Just this small gesture from Lu Yu made En Tian's cheeks flush with happiness. Of course Lu Yu didn't know this. At this moment, he looked at Zhou Qi, who was still sitting on the rooftop, with a confused expression. Master Zhou, what's wrong with you? I'm fine, I'm just thinking about how I can be as perverted as you. Chapter 0465, How can there be any living beings after entering the light gate? Seeing Zhou Qi like this, Lu Yu sighed. Some things are innate and cannot be envied. However, he did not tell Zhou Qi this. It's too heartbreaking and not good. In a good mood and humming a little tune, Lu Yu walked into the Star Palace. As soon as he entered the Star Palace, Lu Yu was startled. Many federal high-level officials have not dispersed yet. Apparently, there was a meeting here all night. Lu Yu, you're here. Yanzu looked at Lu Yu. Lu Yu nodded. Master Yan, how is the situation? The light gate hasn't disappeared yet. Flame Lord shook his head. We sent people in midway. What's the result? Lu Yu became curious. The Flame Lord looked at him and shook his head again. Come out. Out? Lu Yu was shocked when he heard this. Flame Lord turned on the projection. This is the video captured inside. In the time frame, it seems to be a gray color. There are dilapidated buildings everywhere, looking depressed and dead. This made Lu Yu feel inexplicably familiar. Why, are these weird places like the ones I have experienced many times? The only difference is that there is no black fog here. Other than that, the scene is nearly identical. Lu Yu, what do you think? No. Lu Yu shook his head quickly. He did not reveal the matter. The Flame Lord nodded upon hearing this. Now the light door can't be entered. Why can't you get in? Lu Yu frowned slightly. Flame Lord said, we wanted to send people in for the second time, but after a large-scale search, we found that it was indeed impossible to get in through the light gate. These words made Lu Yu look confused. No special reason. No, I tried to enter alone later, but still couldn't get in. The atmosphere at the scene fell silent. After Lu Yu thought for a moment, he looked at Flame Lord. Master Yan, let's go over and take a look. That's fine. In this regard, Yanzu had no objection. Regardless of whether Lu Yu can get in or not, the situation is almost clear now. On the other side of the light door is obviously another world. However, this world is obviously not the world of star beasts. A group of federal high-level officials headed towards the place where the light gate appeared. When we arrived, the light gate was still there, guarded by hundreds of warriors, and a large emergency building was built on the spot. Entering the building, Lu Yu saw the light door. It was still shining with the same light as when I saw it. The Flame Lord ordered a warrior to enter the light gate, but was excluded. "We can't get in anymore," the warrior said. But before he finished speaking, he saw a scene that shocked him. Lu Yu stretched out a hand, and that hand passed through the light door smoothly. This. Everyone was surprised, even the Flame Lord was no exception. "How did you do it?" Lord Yan asked. Lu Yu spread his hands. "I don't know." Lu Yu really doesn't know. He just stretched out his hand tentatively, but to his surprise, he actually went in. Upon hearing this, Lord Yan and all the senior federal officials frowned. How to deal with this? "Lu Yu, are you sure you want to go in?" "Right." Lu Yu nodded. Beyond the light gate is obviously an abandoned city. According to my own understanding, these abandoned cities seem to be left behind by the gods. And there is no black fog behind the light door. You need to go in and see for yourself. When Lord Yan heard Lu Yu's words, he was still a little hesitant. Lu Yu smiled when he saw this. "Master Yan, don't worry, it will definitely be fine." "Okay, are you sure you really want to enter? If the light door is closed, you really can't come back." Yanzu's expression was serious. Lu Yu nodded. "Don't worry, I'm just going in to take a look." "Okay, be careful." Flame Lord said nothing more. All the senior federal officials looked closely at Lu Yu. Seeing this, Lu Yu smiled and quickly stepped into the light door. The light flashed, and the next moment, Lu Yu appeared in a completely unfamiliar world. The whole world was in ruins, and as far as the eye could see, there were black ruins of the city. It was quiet all around, except for the sound of his own breathing. After looking at the dark brown sand on the ground, Lu Yu stepped towards the ruins of the city. Within the ruins. When Lu Yu came here, everything around him seemed quieter. The only thing Lu Yu could hear was his own footsteps. Here, it seems that all life has disappeared, and not a trace of green can be seen. Everything inside is black and filled with the meaning of death. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 615. Along the way, Lu Yu saw many familiar buildings. The style is very similar to what I have seen before. This made Lu Yu even more certain. This is a certain ancient city of the gods. Looking around, Lu Yu was thinking about which direction to go. Suddenly, a black shadow passed in front of him. Got something? Lu Yu instantly became vigilant, and after pondering for a moment, he headed directly in that direction. Regardless of whether there is danger or not, first determine what it is. Black shadow is in front, Lu Yu is behind. The speed of that black shadow was quite fast. Even at the speed of Lu Yu's Star Master, it almost lost track of it several times. Finally, half an hour later, Lu Yu forced it to stop. Boom! Lu Yu destroyed a palace with one shot, and a black cat stopped. This cat is small and similar to a normal cat. But it was surprisingly dark, with only a pair of eyes reflecting the light. Meow! The black cat barked at Lu Yu. Lu Yu frowned. How could there be a cat in this place? After pondering for a moment, Lu Yu suddenly took a few steps back. Seeing that Lu Yu didn't kill him, the black cat quickly ran away again. Lu Yu also followed behind secretly. This cat is obviously not simple. Its attack power is extremely low, but it has extremely high speed. And the most important thing is, how did it survive in these ruins? Lu Yu followed and thought. Finally, the black cat in front stopped and stepped into a palace. Compared with other buildings, this palace is very well preserved. Seeing this, Lu Yu followed after a slight hesitation. Inside the palace, it was pitch black. Lu Yu stood on the skylight and watched the black cat wandering around the palace, then jumped on a stone statue. The next moment, it turned into a stone statue and merged with the stone statue. Lu Yu was stunned by this scene. What's going on? He said to himself, a little unsure whether this was a trap. But after thinking about it, Lu Yu decided to go down and have a look. The old man's token appeared in his hand, and Lu Yu walked in from the door. Ta-da! Lu Yu's footsteps sounded in the empty hall, and he walked straight towards the stone statue. But the moment he saw the stone statue, he was stunned. Chapter 0466 What does it have to do with Xiaoling? The truth about the star beast. Looking at the stone statue, Lu Yu froze on the spot. It looks too familiar. Lu Yu looked at the stone statue carefully and frowned. This stone statue is clearly the same as the one I saw in the space crack before. Xiao 11 was still hiding behind the stone statue. But compared to that stone statue, the face of this stone statue is not blank, but the face of a woman. Lu Yu looked at this face. The more he looked at it, the more familiar it seemed. He waved his hand, and the next moment, another stone statue crashed to the ground. Moon City Stone Statue. Lu Yu got a stone statue from the city lord's mansion in Moon God City. The two stone statues are placed together, except for their different postures. The appearance is surprisingly consistent. And the more Lu Yu looked at it, the more familiar it seemed. This looks too much like Xiaoling. It's completely the adult version of Xiaoling. Lu Yu was startled. Looking at the stone statue, he frowned. Why is this happening? What does it mean behind it? What is Xiao 11's identity? Lu Yu's heart suddenly became uneasy. Xiaoling is his only relative now, and Lu Yu will never allow her to make any mistakes. But what on earth is going on? These stone statues are definitely very old when they exist, and they are probably from the last era. Then why look so similar to Xiao 11? Is this the stone statue of a certain goddess back then? Xiaoling just happened to look similar? How do you explain it to Xiao 11? Are there really two identical people in the world? Lu Yu felt restless inside. He suddenly lost interest in this place, and now he just wants to go back and investigate what is going on. Taking a deep breath, Lu Yu turned around and left. At this time, the entire palace suddenly shook, and the ground collapsed, revealing an entrance. After taking a look at the dark entrance, Lu Yu narrowed his eyes and was about to go around. I don't care about anything now, I just want to go back. As Lu Yu headed outside the palace, the black cat appeared again. Meow. The black cat glanced at Lu Yu and headed downward. Seeing this, Lu Yu stood there for a long time, hesitant. Do you deliberately lead yourself the way? To go in or not to go in? Gritting his teeth, Lu Yu finally went in. The moment he stepped into the underground passage, the lights on both sides came on. What surprised Lu Yu? These are actually the star lights on the Great Wall. What's going on? Lu Yu couldn't help but be shocked. Lu Yu didn't know how long he walked along the passage. After a long time, he finally stopped. Ahead, a small stone chamber appears. The black cat huddled in the corner, looking at Lu Yu. Lu Yu took a deep breath and took a step forward. The stone chamber is not big, and there is a stone coffin in the middle. Other than that, Lu Yu saw nothing. Without hesitation, Lu Yu placed his hand on the coffin lid. Sorry for disturbing your sleep. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS level talents at the beginning. Author, Yoon Jeon-mu Shwe. Chapter 616. After the words fell, Lu Yu pushed open the coffin lid. A withered skeleton lay inside. The bones seemed to be made of metal, reflecting silver light. Lu Yu was stunned. And the Shenxiao mirror appeared at some point. It floated quietly in the air, shining towards the withered skeleton. The next moment, a silver light suddenly rushed into the Shenxiao mirror. The water-like mirror surface immediately fluctuated and turned into a picture. Under the cold moonlight, a figure wearing silver armor knelt on one knee to a woman in white. Lord Moon God, we are leaving the mother planet, so how can we ensure that the mother planet will not be discovered? Let the mother planet return to its original, most inconspicuous state. You mean? Suppress the civilization level of the mother planet to a low level of civilization, and at the same time migrate to the corners of the universe. Okay, I understand Lord Moon God. The conversation between the silver-armored figure and the woman disappeared, and the picture changed as the mirror surface fluctuated. A giant as tall as the sky, carrying a blue planet on his back, arrived at a desolate place in the universe and placed it there. Later, the sun and many other planets were also placed here. At the same time, strange beasts appeared here one by one. Chi-Hung Demon King, by the decree of the Moon God, you and the wild beasts are placed in the blue star space. The mission is to interfere with the progress of blue star civilization and prevent it from breaking through the sequence of low-level civilized planets. Do you know? Chi-Hung knows. A giant beast and billions of beasts knelt down, and then all entered a space crack. After that, everything seemed to have never happened. Life was multiplying, the Earth's crust was deforming, and one race after another appeared, until an ape looked at the galaxy. Boom! The picture of the Shenxiao mirror ended here. Lu Yu woke up and was drenched in sweat. This is the truth about the blue star beast. Was it placed by the gods? The purpose is to fear that the human race on blue star will grow too fast and attract the attention of some powerful enemies. Lu Yu knew the truth, and his heart was full of mixed feelings. It is good for the human race, but countless people have died in these long years. It is hard to say, this has avoided the catastrophe of the human race. And now, has the truth finally come out? Lu Yu looked at the dry bones in the sarcophagus and sighed. I am afraid that this is the silver-armored general who died here. Sighing in his heart, Lu Yu's hatred for the star beasts has disappeared without a trace. Who would have thought that the life and death enemy that has always been there is actually the umbrella of human protection? It is really unpredictable. Sighing, Lu Yu closed the coffin lid and was about to leave. In front of him, a light gate appeared. I came. Lu Yu was slightly surprised, but the black cat jumped in instantly. Lu Yu reacted. The Star Beast clan seems to have not disappeared yet. How else to explain the star beasts that are rampant on the blue planet? I wonder if they still believe in the gods. Lu Yu hesitated for a moment and stepped into it. After a brief blindness, Lu Yu saw a green mountain and clear water. And Lu Yu was at the top of a mountain. A giant eagle of the Tianyuan realm flew by and saw Lu Yu with a surprised look. Human race. In response, Lu Yu stepped directly on the giant eagle. Take me to see Chi-Hung. You dare to call the Demon King's real name. The giant eagle was furious, but Lu Yu did not resist it at all. He coughed up blood after one kick. Be obedient, or you will die, Lu Yu said lightly. Seeing this, the giant eagle did not dare to resist and took Lu Yu directly to a group of mountains. 10 minutes later, Lu Yu saw a huge mountain that reached the sky. The mountain peaks pierced the clouds, as if leading to the sky. At this moment, at some point, more than a dozen beast kings appeared on the mountainside of the mountain. A human race actually came here. How brave. Kill him and sacrifice him to the Demon King. Many Beast Kings roared. Seeing this, Lu Yu said nothing. The next moment, his golden blood was fully opened, and the divine aura was released, looking at the towering mountain. Chi Hung, your god is back. Chapter 0467 The Ultimate Realm, the God-given Queen awakens. Your god is back. Almost at the moment when Lu Yu's aura was released, the entire giant peak shook. Pieces of hundreds of meters of rocks were collapsing, and there were terrifying whispers. Who is waking me up? Boom. The mountainside completely collapsed, revealing a hint of black. Next, it was the foot of the mountain. Boom. Under the collapse of the mountain, a pair of feet covered with black armor appeared. Clatter. In the clouds, broken stones were falling and hitting the ground, making the whole mountain tremble. Finally, all the stones fell off. The so-called Tongtian mountains were nothing but the body of a giant hand. A head covered with scales poked out from the clouds. A pair of eyes, as huge as a planet. At this moment, the pair of green eyes stared at Lu Yu. Almost at the moment of seeing Lu Yu, the pupils of the eyes shrank almost invisible. You are. Have you not sensed it yet? An ancient bronze sword appeared in Lu Yu's hand. A shadow walked out from behind Lu Yu. Boom. The terrifying blood pressure burst out, and the giant beast that was comparable to the planet knelt down. Excitement and shock flashed in those eyes. My lord, you are back. Even if the giant beast knelt on the ground, its height was unimaginable. And at this moment, its action made all the Beast Kings stunned. The Demon King, what happened? Why kneel down to a human? They didn't understand, but Chi Hung was already extremely excited. My lord, do you know? I have been sleeping here for a long time, probably an era. I can sense that my descendants have reproduced for hundreds of millions of years, but there is no fluctuation outside. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Shui. Chapter 617. I thought we really had no chance. Now you're back. Have we won? Is the moon god still there? Chi Hung looked at him with an extremely odd look. But Lu Yu knew that he was not looking at him. It was the person behind him. After a moment of silence, Lu Yu spoke. The Heaven Palace has disappeared. What? Chi Hung was stunned. That god, you. I'm not him, Lu Yu answered simply. Hearing this, Chi Hung froze in place. Its eyes were extremely puzzled. How is it possible, sir? There is absolutely no mistake about the aura on your body, even your weapon. I just collected it by accident, I'm not him. Then who are you? I'm just a person with the blood of the gods. Are the gods still there? Chi Hung's expression became more and more puzzled. Hearing this, Lu Yu shook his head. At present, I should be the only one with the blood of the gods. Chi Hung was silent for a long time. Lu Yu looked at it. You have two choices now, either go out with me and go to Blue Star, the planet you needed to control before. Or, stay here. Lu Yu's words were very clear. The strength of this giant beast is obviously not simple. It can survive for a long time, which is absolutely shocking. If it goes out, it can definitely protect Blue Star temporarily. And if it doesn't want to come out, Lu Yu won't make it difficult for it. If you want to stay, stay. After Lu Yu said this, Chi Hung fell silent. After a long time, it looked at Lu Yu. God, I am willing to go out with you. As he said this, the huge body shrank instantly and turned into the appearance of a middle-aged man. Lu Yu was very relieved to see this. Okay, let's go. Beside him, several Beast Kings were already dumbfounded. Demon King, this. They couldn't speak clearly, and didn't know what happened. Seeing this, Chi Hung said calmly. From now on, you will stay in this world. Remember not to go out. Okay, okay, Demon King. After saying this, Chi Hung stretched out a hand, and a light gate emerged. Lu Yu walked in first, followed by Chi Hung. Outside. Beside the light gate, Yanzu and a group of Blue Star executives were fidgeting at this moment. Lu Yu had been in there for several hours, but he hadn't come out yet. This made everyone very worried. And it was at this moment that the light gate fluctuated. Lu Yu came out. But before Yanzu and the others could be surprised, a big man also came out. And brought someone with him. Lu boy, are you still trafficking people in there? Zhou Qi was shocked on the spot. Lu Yu. After thinking for a while, Lu Yu decided not to reveal the truth about the star beast. Let me introduce you, this is Chi Hung, I met him by accident in there. Hello Chi Hung, I'm Blue Star Yanzu. A group of Blue Star executives greeted Chi Hung. Chi Hung responded to this one by one. He received an order to protect these human beings. Although he didn't know the identities of these human beings, he also knew that the human race must have some connection with the gods. Seeing this, Lu Yu smiled. Master Yan, Chi Hung's strength is quite amazing, why don't you give him an official position? Okay, but I don't know what realm you are in, Chi Hung, Master Yan asked. Lu Yu also became curious. It seems that he hasn't asked Chi Hung what realm he is in. Hearing this, Chi Hung hesitated for a moment. I am now in the ultimate realm. Ultimate realm? Everyone was stunned, including Lu Yu, who had never heard of this realm. Master Yan raised his eyelids. He suddenly doubted that the person Lu Yu brought with him was not a liar. Forget it, just give Lu Yu face. I see, Chi Hung, how about this, the planetary guard is currently missing a captain, you go over and see if it's okay. Master Yan said. Chi Hung didn't know about this and nodded. It's all right. Okay, that's it? Lord Yan nodded. Lu Yu felt strange in his heart. No matter how you look at it, Lord Yan is just perfunctory. This old guy really doesn't give face. Without thinking too much, Lu Yu brought Chi Hung back to the imperial capital. Lu Yu spent thousands of star cores to help Chi Hung settle down in the imperial capital. Okay, you live here now, remember not to cause trouble. My lord, I know all this. Chi Hung smiled. Lu Yu nodded. This is indeed nonsense. How long has he lived, how could he not know the most basic principles of doing things? After chatting with Chi Hung about the things on Blue Star, Lu Yu learned a major news. Moon God, it seems that he is not dead? According to Chi Hung, after the Great Wall was broken, the Moon God formed another Great Wall. Then, it disappeared. This made Lu Yu a little puzzled. As he thought about it, Lu Yu seemed to have found some evidence. What is the history of the gods of the God-given race? 1 billion years ago, a god came and took away the 10th generation of God-given queen? Was that the moon god? Lu Yu was not sure. When Lu Yu rushed back to the villa, he saw a familiar figure. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yun Zhong Mu Shui. Chapter 618. God. Lan rushed over happily. Lu Yu was a little surprised. Lan, why are you here? How did Lan know that he was back? Ian's eyes were already full of tears. God, they all said that you died at the Great Wall. I'm alive and well, aren't I? Lu Yu smiled and touched Ian's head. Lu Ling looked at him with a sour look. Brother, what is your relationship with Sister Lan? Your sister Lan is my servant. Lu Yu smiled. Ian's face was slightly red. Lu Yu pinched her face. You haven't answered me yet, why are you here? The ancestor has woken up, Lan said. Lu Yu was surprised instantly, awake. Yes, The ancestor is awake, but it is inconvenient to move. My mother went to the Great Wall to find God, but she learned the bad news. The clan was in great sorrow. But I don't believe that God will die, so I came to Blue Star to find God. I didn't expect God to be there. Ian's face showed a smile again. Lu Yu nodded when he heard it. Then you come now, do you want me to go over? Yes, the ancestor is in a very bad state now. She said she wanted to see God. There is something important about the entire God clan to tell you. Lan nodded hurriedly. Lu Yu heard it, and his heartbeat slightly accelerated. The 10th generation God-given queen is awake. The truth, is it going to be revealed? Chapter 0468. It's really big, the words of the God-given queen. Is the truth going to be revealed? Lu Yu said he was not excited, it was all a lie. The God-given queen definitely knows some secrets. I have to ask her carefully. Lu Yu looked at Lu Ling. Xiaoling, I'm going to leave for a while. Brother, you always say that. Lu Ling's eyes were red. Lu Yu always said that he would come back to see him after leaving, but in fact, he never did. Lu Yu knew this himself, and touched Lu Ling's head helplessly. Don't worry, I definitely didn't lie to you this time. Really? Really? Well, brother, you have to come back early. Lu Ling hugged Lu Yu. Lu Yu touched her head, and after thinking about it, he looked at Xiao 11. Xiao 11, are you going with me, or staying here? To be honest, Lu Yu felt quite strange about Xiao 11. She was like his sister, but not. The only thing that can be confirmed now is that there is definitely some connection between Xiao Ling and Xiao 11. Xiao 11 hesitated when she heard Lu Yu's words. I want to stay here. Okay. Lu Yu nodded when he heard it, and didn't force anything. It would be best if Xiao 11 was willing to stay in Blue Star. This time, he was not just going to see the Queen of God, but also had some other things to deal with. There will definitely be danger on the road. After instructing Lu Ling again, he followed Lan outside. Because of the hasty departure this time, Lu Yu had no time to see Lord Yan and the others. He boarded the chariot, and the next moment, the chariot crossed the sky and went directly to the deep space. Everything around him became quiet. The chariot was very fast, almost in an instant, it left the solar system and entered the Orion Arm. While rushing on the road, Lu Yu also saw the Orion Academy. Although it was far away, Lu Yu still saw it with the help of the divine vision. This made him very emotional. I don't know how Dean Muqing and the others are doing. But considering Hongfei's existence, Lu Yu still gave up the idea of visiting them. I still have to return to the origin realm. At that time, I can stand up straight. Try hard and work harder. Lu Yu silently encouraged himself in his heart and looked at Lan next to him. Seeing those eyes full of autumn water, Lu Yu immediately felt a little bit exhausted. But, glancing at Xiao 11 next to him, Lu Yu's eyelids twitched. Xiao 11 immediately looked flustered. I didn't see anything. Lu Yu. No interest at all. Yawning, Lu Yu squinted his eyes and rested. It was very quiet afterwards. After a few hours, the speed of the chariot slowed down. Lu Yu opened his eyes and saw the God-given star in the distance. Half an hour later, the chariot appeared above the God-given city. The God-given queen knelt down to Lu Yu with a group of high-ranking officials. Lu Yu was calm and walked down accompanied by Lan. God, you are still alive. The God-given queen was a little excited and her body was shaking. Not only her, but also other high-ranking officials of the God-given clan. And the consequence of this is naturally turbulent. Looking at the snow-white waves, Lu Yu forced his eyes away. Hey, is the 10th generation God-given queen okay now? God, the ancestor has awakened, but because of physical reasons, he can only stay in the ancestral land, so you have to come here in person. The God-given queen bent her waist deeper, which made Lu Yu a little overwhelmed. It's really big. It's okay, take me there, Lu Yu said calmly. Hearing this, the God-given queen did not dare to hesitate, and took Lu Yu to the hall. Turning left and right, Lu Yu didn't know how many buildings he passed through, and finally stopped. Only in a sacrificial altar, there was a flash of red light. In the center, there was a large tripod with mist floating inside. At this moment, a naked woman was soaking in the hall. Seeing this, Lu Yu's eyes widened slightly. When did the God-given clan become so open? How come I didn't know? God. The woman in the cauldron seemed to be extremely excited and immediately knelt down in front of Lu Yu. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yoon Jeon-mu Shuet. Chapter 619. Lu Yu finally couldn't stand it after seeing this scene. Please put on some clothes, thank you. God, if you wear clothes, it will affect your healing. Lu Yu. He now has reason to believe that the God-given clan is deliberately catering to his preferences. To put it bluntly, it's intentional. Good guy. Lu Yu simply became frank. After all, they are his slaves, what can't he see? Lu Yu's eyes swept over unscrupulously, which made the woman's face slightly red. At this time, the God-given queen also spoke. God, we will withdraw first and not disturb you and the ancestors' communication. Okay. Lu Yu nodded. Some things really need to be avoided. But Ian's words were left by Lu Yu. Sitting on the chair, enjoying Ian's massage service, Lu Yu looked at the 10th generation God-given queen. Tell me, what have you experienced? Lu Yu said. The 10th generation God-given queen hesitated. God, where do you want to start? Where to start? Lu Yu thought for a moment and said quickly. Let's start from when you left the God-given star. Okay, God. The 10th God-given queen nodded. After a moment of contemplation, she spoke. When I left the God-given star, it was a long time ago. If calculated according to the current time, it should be 1 billion years ago. Well, it's quite old. Lu Yu nodded in agreement. The 10th God-given queen. She gritted her teeth and continued. When I left, it was because a big figure from the God clan came. Who? Lu Yu asked immediately. This is an important question. In response, the God-given queen shook her head. I don't know. She kept my identity secret, but she is indeed a member of the God clan. Because it is related to the moon god Heaven, I followed her. What happened later? Later, that person took me to an ancient road. I don't know where the ancient road is. Then we arrived at the old site of the moon god Heaven. Where is the old site? Lu Yu's eyes were almost shining. I must go and see it myself. Just when he was a little discouraged, the 10th generation God-given queen shook her head. God, I don't know where this is. Okay, go on. Well, after I went to the ruins of the moon god Heaven with that person, she disappeared, leaving me alone. At that time, I walked all over the ruins of the moon god Heaven, and I didn't find any life. Later, there were creatures outside the Great Wall who appeared and beat me severely to death. Fortunately, that person gave me a life-saving forbidden weapon before leaving, so I survived. The woman spoke. Lu Yu raised his eyebrows. Then you don't know anything. That's right. Lu Yu was silent for a long time. Why, I listened for so long, but I didn't hear a key point. Okay, just tell me, is there anything important? Lu Yu no longer had much hope, but the words of the 10th generation God-given queen made him look serious. Chapter 0469. The fourth stage of the divine bloodline, the Yunyu clan. There are gods. What's the matter? Lu Yu asked. The moon god should still be alive, the 10th generation god-given queen said. As soon as these words came out, Lu Yu's expression immediately changed. Is she really alive? How do you know? When I visited the moon god's heaven, I found that although the entire heaven was severely destroyed, some of the most critical items had not disappeared. Especially the throne of the moon god, which symbolizes power, is still there. As soon as these words came out, Lu Yu's expression immediately changed. Don't tell me that the moon god is really still alive? Why didn't she show up? In addition, who took the god-given queen away before? Headache. Do you have a way to find the moon god? Lu Yu looked at the god-given queen again. The god-given queen shook her head. God, how is this possible? The moon god disappeared. After a long silence, Lu Yu thought about it and said, who is the real enemy of the gods? This is a crucial question. Everything has become like this because of those great enemies. Hearing this, the god-given queen looked puzzled. God, don't you know? Lu Yu was speechless. I'll just ask you if you know. I don't know about this kind of thing either. Everything was buried in the last era, the 10th generation god-given queen said helplessly. Lu Yu sighed after hearing this. Sure enough, I still don't know. Then did the Zero Association exist in your era? Lu Yu had to focus on the other direction of exploration. The Zero Association might know something. To Lu Yu's surprise, the 10th generation god-given queen actually nodded. The Zero Association is a very mysterious organization that has existed for a long time. The secrets they hold are beyond the imagination of ordinary people. Why, God, do you have any doubts about them? Nothing. Lu Yu waved his hand. According to what the god-given queen said, the Zero Association is indeed an extraordinary force. It already existed in the era of the god-given queen, and it can even be traced back further. Obviously, it's not that simple. The god-given queen couldn't get any truth from him, so he might have to contact the Zero Association. Lu Yu frowned. At this time, a badge appeared in the hand of the god-given queen. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yun Zhong Mu Shui. Chapter 620. God, this is a relic left by the gods. Lu Yu's expression became confused. The 10th generation god-gifted queen explained. This was left by the person who took me away. He said that if he sees the gods again in the future, he will hand over something like this. And this big inside story? Lu Yu's expression became surprised and he took the badge. The badge had a dark golden color, and the moment Lu Yu touched it, it melted like liquid metal and entered Lu Yu's body. Ding! Bloodline is improving, bloodline development rate add 15%. Ding! Congratulations to the host for entering the 4th stage of the divine bloodline, divine heart. Heart of God, the heart of Tao is eternal, the power of God is awakened, and the heart of war is Su. The moment the system sound fell, Lu Yu felt that his heart was changing drastically. A tearing pain came, and then, the originally red heart turned into gold. Between the thumps and thumps, the golden blood makes a whistling sound. At this moment, Lu Yu's thinking had never been so clear. The power contained in his body seemed to be about to explode. It actually gave rise to a feeling of inexhaustible supply. Lu Yu was shocked. The bloodline development rate is 75%. Have you entered the 4th stage of the divine bloodline? At this moment, Lu Yu became excited. Obviously, this metal is definitely not an ordinary thing. It's like it's specially left for yourself. Endless physical energy. I'm going. This is great too. Direct electric motor. No, let's try it tonight. Lu Yu felt excited. Beside him, Lan and the 10th god-given queen knelt down under this terrible pressure. After taking one look at the figure of the 10th generation God-given queen, Lu Yu restrained his breath and coughed. Just stand up if it's okay. Okay, okay God. The 10th generation God-gifted queen stood up with great effort. Lu Yu looked at her and said, "Is there any other information?" "God, everything I know has been told," the 10th generation God-gifted queen said. Lu Yu nodded when he heard this. "Okay, I may come to see you later." "Welcome God." The 10th generation God-given queen blushed. When Lu Yu saw this, his expression was calm. Calm, calm. Turning around, Lu Yu took Lan out. "God, I feel that your life breath is so strong now." Lan couldn't help but speak out. Indeed. The divine bloodline has entered the 4th stage, and the effect of the divine heart is absolutely astonishing. Lu Yu's current chi and blood are like a human body's furnace, like the blazing sun, emitting the energy of life. Squeezing Ian's face, Lu Yu laughed. "Do you want to try it?" Landu obeys God's words. Lan bit her red lips tightly and blushed to the root of her neck. In response, Lu Yu smiled and said nothing. "Now, how can I have time to do this? The top priority is to figure out the current situation of the entire universe, and let's put it aside first about the love between children. If you want to understand the Gui-Ling association, you must start from Yu. But that guy is not from the same galaxy group as himself, which is a bit troublesome." Thinking about it, Lu Yujiang thought of Dakiao Leiju. "God, the bridge you mentioned should be a genius from the Yunyu clan in the Yunmen galaxy," Goddess Queen said respectfully. After hearing this, Lu Yu thought for a moment. "Okay, I'm going to the Yunyu clan now." "Okay, God, I will prepare a warship for you, but do you want to inform the Galaxy Mansion? The master of the palace thinks that you, God, have not returned from the Great Wall." In response, Lu Yu waved his hand. "Keep it secret first." "Okay God." The God-given queen left. Lu Yu's expression was thoughtful. The news that he came back alive must be kept secret for now. Otherwise, it will attract too much unnecessary attention. Half an hour later, Lu Yu had already boarded the warship. "God, have a safe journey," Lan smiled from below. Lu Yu nodded. "This time, I don't plan to take Lan with me. Go to the bridge to find Kingsyu and Yu. In this process, you are likely to be exposed. When the time comes, someone will definitely come to track him down and find out why he escaped." Lu Yu didn't know what changes would happen during this period. For safety reasons, Lu Yu decided to go alone. After holding the token in his hand, Lu Yu started the warship. The truth of the universe needs to be understood. Whoever cheated me should figure it out. Lu Yu's eyes flashed with murderous intent. Chapter 0470 Lu Yu, you have become a ghost and you have the handle. Boom. The warship started up, crushing through the space and moving forward at great speed. The journey to the Yunmen galaxy is neither far, nor is it close. The Yunmen galaxy is the galaxy next door to the Milky Way. It is more than hundreds of thousands of light years away. It takes at least 2 days to reach it by warship. Therefore, Lu Yu was not in a hurry. For 2 days, Lu Yu basically spent time meditating and practicing. During this period, Lu Yu had thought about whether he should open the ancient bronze box that the old man gave him, containing the relics of the moon god's heavenly palace, and take a look. But after considering what the old man said before, Lu Yu gave up temporarily. In addition to the relics, there was also a mess waiting for him in the box. Lu Yu didn't want to get involved in this mess for the time being. He would first understand the ins and outs of all the things. In this way, time passed, and 2 days passed. On the 3rd day, Lu Yu opened his eyes. In front of him, a gorgeous nebula appeared. Yunmen Galaxy. The entire Yunmen Galaxy looked like a cloud.